This is what I 100% believe. Everyone that is watching any content on this channel watches so because they are an entrepreneur at heart, or they have started something, or they're planning on starting something. And about 85% of all my viewers are people from within South Africa. So we're going to talk about entrepreneurship here in South Africa and the unemployment rate. So if you're an entrepreneur watching this, or you're an entrepreneur at heart, leave it in the comment and show everybody that you're an entrepreneur. Tell me what kind of business you want to start, what kind of business you have started, and let's start creating ideas and a community around people who are entrepreneurs. But let's get right into today's video. My name is Mavimbela. I speak entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs mindset on this channel, and I want to talk about the unemployment rate of South Africa. It has increased in the last year by 0.6%, going from 32.3 to 32.9. Now, when somebody hears this as 0.9% increase in unemployment, they think that is not a very big number. But if you take in consideration the population of the country, it's in the millions. Okay, so if it's in the millions, over 50 million, 1% or 0.6% of that millions of people is a very, very big number. And it shows that there is something really wrong, like things are really going wrong in the country. Now, of course, the unemployment rate increased very dramatically during COVID and the lockdowns and everything. And then the country opened up as the world did open up as well. And people started going back to offices and they started doing work from within offices, and businesses started going back to normal, to say, so to speak, not 100% back to normal, but they kind of got back to normal, so to speak. And it was as though there was going to be a little bit of growth around South Africa for businesses and everything like that. But that is not the actual experience of what we are seeing, because right after those lockdowns happened and we got back to normal, we are hit by a tsunami of power cuts here in the country. And the power cuts are so bad that they actually affect very, very big enterprises, very big, large businesses in the country, or large sectors that influence and affect the GDP of the country more than anything that me and you can think of, or think of doing, rather, And we're talking about the manufacturing sector. We're talking about the mining sector, where people are losing jobs in the hundreds of thousands. I would say it kind of sounds normal, or it sounds like it's something that could happen if it was hundreds of people or maybe a few thousands, but it is in the hundreds of thousands of people that are losing jobs in these major sectors of the country. And within the very same last year, we have lost a potential of 600,000 potential jobs. 600,000 potential jobs. You see that this is a potential of feeding 600,000 families in the country, or 600,000 individuals, if you want to look at it like that. And the potential of them getting a job and being able to feed themselves through the job has been lost, because the country just keeps on regressing. Now, I don't want to make a video that is long and negative. I just want to highlight the problem that we do have before I get into talking about the things that I believe are some of the potential solutions. Again, I say that everybody that watches this channel and they enjoy my channel, which, by the way, just hit 1,000 subscribers, and it took me a very long time to get this number, and I'm quite proud of myself, and I'm also proud of you for being part of the community that we are building here. So I don't longer believe that I'm alone here. I'm with all of y'all, the people that comment, the people that are always watching the content. Some of the people that I can think of from the top of my brain right now is a guy named Sam Kelo. He has told me many times that he's a fan of the content. So I appreciate you all very much. But let's talk about the solutions of the problems that we have. Again, I say entrepreneurship, right? But if you watch on my channel, I've spoken about businesses that are not so glamorous. And this is where I think the solutions are. The solutions are in businesses that are not so glamorous. A lot of us don't need a lot of money to live somewhat comfortable, or our version of comfortable. Myself, for example, I need less than 10,000 rands a month to say, yeah, I'm okay. Because with 10,000 rand, I can pay bills, like all my significant bills being my office and also the place that I stay at. I can buy groceries, and I also have a little bit of extra money for me to pay gym and Luckily for me, I have a very great partner, and it is not too expensive for us to take care of our daughter. You understand? So I don't need to have too much money to take care of myself. And if I was not doing this, what I'm doing in the studio, which is a tattoo shop and a beauty studio and training space, and also a podcast space, if I was not doing any of these things, I would be in the streets doing something that is similar to what I have spoken about on this channel. Back in the day, I used to sell amakwinya, fat cakes with a bucket walking around in my neighborhood. I remember I would even shock some people who wouldn't have thought that I would do such a thing because, I don't know, they considered me to be someone who is different from within the hood or within the township. But here's the thing, I am a hustler at heart. It doesn't matter what I have to do in order for me to feed myself, okay? If you are going to judge me for what I'm doing, it's fine, you can judge me. But I understand that the money that I make from doing what I am doing at that very moment is going to pay me eventually. So it's going to pay me dividends. It's going to put food on my table. So I'm willing to do it, right? So the solution to this is not glamorous businesses. It's things that a lot of South Africans have a problem with doing. Selling in the streets. If you go to any taxi rank here in this country, I believe now it's probably in the whole country, but as I am in Gauteng, if you go to any Gauteng-based taxi rank and you find the street vendors there and you find the hawkers there, you find the people selling over there, a majority of these people will be foreign nationals. And although there's nothing wrong with that, I think it is a problem because we also have our own issue as a country where we have a very high unemployment rate and people are not willing to do these things that make actual money, that make actual comfortable livings just because it doesn't look glamorous and they feel that they will be judged. So if you feel that you will be judged too much that you can't do such things, then you're really missing out on serious opportunities for you to be making a good, comfortable living. I don't see the reason for you to be hungry when you could be at a taxi rank. Like people who receive the 350 Rand SRT. Like there's businesses that you can start with 300 Rand or 350. I've literally spoken about some of these businesses on this very channel. And some of the businesses and the things that I've spoken about on this channel, I have done myself and I keep doing to this day. Some of the businesses that you can start, because we have social media now, you don't even need to have your own money to start that business. And I see a lot of South Africans always making the excuse that I could start a business, but what funding do I have to start that business? It is a problem for you to have that kind of mentality. The reason it's a problem to have that kind of mentality is because you are never going to start something because that mentality, although it is what I would say somewhat of a good excuse, it's an excuse nonetheless. And you are going to use that excuse for you to not take any action. And this is what we are seeing with South Africans and people who are entrepreneurs at heart. I am talking about you people who are watching on this channel because some of you do watch this channel. You are very inspired. You are very motivated, but you are not starting things because you think that you need to have a big funding to start things. And I'm saying to you, some businesses don't need you to have your own money. You can literally go online and download pictures of products. You can go to a Chinatown, to a China mall. You can go to the streets of Joburg, take pictures of things, post these things online. People pay you upfront. After they pay you, you deliver to these people and you ensure that you deliver to these people so that you can build a reputation for someone who is trustworthy. Because we know here in this country, we've got a problem of people that scam people online. A lot of customers, I experienced this myself as a hustler. A lot of South Africans don't trust online-based businesses because they have been duped so many times. They have been scammed so many times. And when they think about paying someone or something online, they just, I'm not going to do that. But if you have 1, 2, or 3 people who have bought from you that you have served properly and you can use these people as your own testimonials, you have now started the ball has started rolling for you and you have started a hustle online. And you never needed to use your own money. If you say you are going to sell sneakers, let's be honest. A lot of people want to buy name brands but can't afford the actual name brands. And as much as it is a crime and it is counterfeit, we've got foreign nationals doing it here in the country. So why not take an opportunity in that market? I'm not encouraging you to do crime. So, okay, maybe you think, okay, no, that's too much of a crime. I can't do that. Fine. But there's other online businesses that you can still do. that don't need you to have your own money, especially if you have a skill. Let's say you have a skill to put clothes together. You know how to sew. Or you have the skill to see thrifted clothes or old clothes that are good enough to be worn again, and you can repurpose them into beautiful items again. If you've got $100 and you go to Joburg CBD, if you are in Gauteng, you go to Joburg CBD with $100, you will come back with a pair of jeans or two. If those pair of jeans are high quality enough, you can sell them in your neighborhood. You don't even need to do it online. You can sell them in your neighborhood for 150 or 200 rand each. And those two that you needed with just that 100 rand. Guys, 100 rand is not a lot of money. Before you say, well, you said that you can start a business without needing your own money. 100 rand is not a lot of money because a lot of you people are able to buy beer that is worth 100 rand. So I'm not going to have that conversation. It's a fucking waste of time. And a waste of my time, a waste of your time and the viewers' time. So that 100 rand can start you a business. And you have taken pictures of these two jeans. You post these two jeans online. Somebody says, yo, I want those jeans. How much are they? 250? Okay, cool. They send you 250. You use $50 to get to Hanentrach to Joburg. Hanentrach to Joburg for many places in Gauteng. Let's say if you are in Benoni, in the CBD, it's $50, Hanentrach to Joburg. If you are in Soweto, it can even be less than $50. You go buy 4 more jeans. It's fine for you to lose the money at that moment. Buy 4 more jeans and then go give that person the jean. You are left with 3 jeans to sell to other people. And now you can post them online and keep on. These are simple concepts. Like, I don't see a reason to keep making excuses and saying that you can't do things. You know? And we do this quite a lot as South Africans. Like, we have the solutions. We have the brain and the mental capacity to think outside of the box. Some of us even have the hands-on skills. If not the hands-on skills, you just have the gift of being able to use your hands. But we are really good excuse makers. I always talk about this on my channel, that we are good at making excuses. And I am saying we because I've also been one of the people that makes excuses. Heck, it took me 10 years for me to get to this level of hustle, and it is not that high of a level. Had I not been a good excuse maker, I would have been at a higher level. Like the same people that I compare myself with, people that started with me and the time that I started at. These people are much further than I am. But because I was so good at making excuses, and at least I'm accountable for that, I was so good at making excuses and feeling sorry for myself and procrastinating. I am where I am now, and it is my fault. I could have been much further had I not been that person before. And I am no longer that person, and I refuse to accept that somebody is a fan of this channel, is a daily viewer or like a regular viewer of this channel to be that person as well. And I refuse that if you are the person that has watched up until this point, you are still going to be able, after watching this video, say to yourself, well, he makes sense, but Mina, my business is something that is too big for me to just start with little money. I'm trying to build 2 very difficult businesses. Actually, 3. And if I include the businesses that I am trying to do with my partner, it gets up to 5. And I am not going to make any excuses. One of the businesses is in the FMCG space. A very expensive business to start, but I have started with what I have. Very little. The very bare minimum that I have started. I want to also build a school. A school for people who are in the beauty industry in order for them to learn the skill and also learn the skill of selling the skill and the services. I am trying to build a media company, obviously with a partner of mine. We are trying to build a business that makes candles, guys. Candles. These are very difficult and expensive businesses to start. But if I were to make excuses, we are not going to go anywhere. Nothing is going to get built. So I think, firstly, let's let go of the mentality of thinking that we need a lot of funding or we need our own money to start businesses, and let go of the mentality that you have to start big, because that is impossible. Many people think that they need funding to start their businesses because they are thinking starting big. No one is going to come to you and give you 50,000 rands or 100,000 rands for you to start your business if you have not proven yourself. If someone was to do that, frankly, they are quite stupid. And unfortunately, we have a government that has made us believe that they are willing to do this for us, or they will do this for us. And there are people who are lucky enough to get some funding from CETA, for example, NYDAs. These institutes do exist and they do help some people, but they're not going to help everyone. Because bureaucracy, because corruption, because lack of knowledge by the potential business owners and lack of paperwork and the ability to put that paperwork together, because some of the things that are required are not so easy to come by or not so easy to actually make. Let's just say make. I don't have a word for that. But not everyone is going to benefit from these things. And they're not going to, NYDA is not going to give money to everyone who wants to start any kind of business. If you want to sell maotwana, if you want to sell dikilana on a braai stand in your neighborhood or at the taxi rank, they're not going to give you funding for that. The best you can do is repurpose a braai stand, borrow a braai stand, buy maotwana 100 rand at a butchery, buy dikilana it's 50 rand and go sell in the street. But the government is not going to give you that money. In fact, they already are giving you that money if you receive SR3 LA 350. You understand? So, the unemployment rate is going to continually increase. And even if the government is working very hard at ensuring that it circumvents this issue, it will or may be successful if they set up the right policies. But in order for policies to work, you need 6 months to 2 years in order for those policies to mature and actually start being in effect. And once they are in effect, it needs a bit more years for things to be really, really good. And in the meantime, are we just going to sit on our hands and do nothing? Or are we going to use these hands? Are we going to use our brains and do things for ourselves? Because, we have this saying here in South Africa, uNkulunkulu siza oyisizayo. I'm not sure if that is actually in the Bible. In English, directly translated, it would say that God only helps those that help themselves. So if, let's say, we remove God helping those who help themselves, let's just say people with money only help those who help themselves. People with money only give money to people who help themselves first. You prove yourself. Like, why am I giving you 50 rand if I know that you are going to waste my 50 rand? So let's think about it that way. The solution is to start businesses that are not very glamorous. The solution is to start with what we have, as little as it may be. If it is nothing, hey, find ways to start with nothing. Borrow a shovel from umakhelwane and go clean the other makhelwane's yard for 10 or 15 bucks. I have done it. If I can, why can't you? I'll see you in the next one. I love you very much. Like and subscribe. Peace.